Ayy, this ain't a drill. Only time I playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we bout to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. 716 make them pay with some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and niggas talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill when we talk about the Bills dominating on the field. And our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill.
What's going on? Welcome back to another live episode of the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I am your co-host, Aramis.
And I am trying to log into my systems, but 40 keys for everybody who's wondering.
All right, well, while you do that, man, interestingly enough, we are at the end of the regular season, the very last game to be played. It is week 18 in the NFL, and I think we have in the AFC, we really only have one game that really matters in terms of, you know, divisional supremacy, which is the Jaguars-Texans. And then NFC, I think there's it's Bucks. Is it Bucks Falcons?
I
I thought it was Bucks Panthers.
Yes, that's what it is. It's Bucks Panthers. Thank you, Dan. So I think in hindsight, this season looked like it was supposed to be the easiest. One thing I had to realize about Sean, and this is, I'm just cutting straight, through the fluff to the thought. One of the things that it seemed like this season revealed that just kind of occurred to me out of nowhere is Sean McDermott, to a degree, kind of does assess situations in terms of like levels of seriousness. Like, how much do I need to worry about this particular issue, right? And I'm saying this from my perspective and how I've kind of seen the team make decisions and approach certain situations and stuff like that. And I guess what I'm really trying to get at is the Bills. It seems like the Bills went into this season kind of thinking this should be a cakewalk, right? And even though it's the NFL and all that kind of look like we have the 6th easiest schedule. Like, seriously, we don't need to work that hard. Almost in the same way that they kind of approached their own division. We don't really need to do that much to compete with the Miami Dolphins. We don't need to get a ton of speed because they don't have a quarterback. We don't need to worry about that. We don't need to go so hard in trying to make sure that we can keep up with their speed or match their speed or whatever the case may be. But looking at how that played out this season, and this is speculation, right? But my speculatory thought is it possible that the Bills approach this season as we don't have to get too heavy into, the scheme and the passing game and all that kind of stuff and trying to, we really just want to focus in on being tough, running the ball, playing the style of football that Sean McDermott wants to see? Because when you think about how the season went as a whole, you kind of get the full picture of what Sean wanted to see, right? I was watching a podcast. I forget what show this was, but one of the guys said you have to have a why for your players. I think it was Dan Orlovsky talking to, he might have been talking to Brownie and Tasker. He might have been talking to somebody else, but he said as a coach, you have to have a why for your players, right? Actually, it might have been Fitzpatrick on Fitz and Wit. But the long and short of that, and why I bring that up is The why for the Bills is playing for their brothers, right? Which is something that Sean established. He established this culture of, you know, you love your brother, you give everything you got for your brother, and you hear the players talk about it a lot. You know, that's my brother. I'm gonna give everything I got for him. Blah blah blah. So you gave the players the why. You have the culture, which every coach needs to establish when he gets to a place, to a franchise. You have your franchise quarterback, right? And you've established your run game, and then towards the end of the season, we started to see this team establish this, take advantage of your mistakes, bend but don't break, shut you down when absolutely needed type of defense, right? So he's got his defense, he's got his run game, he's got his franchise quarterback, he's got his culture, and he has the players understanding and living through their why, which is, I'm gonna play for my brother. As a defensive-minded head coach, that's bingo. That's Yahtzee. That's you hit all the points that you want to hit. If I'm being quite honest, like that was his goal. That was his vision. And he's executed it. And in a way, I'm proud of him for that. Because he through all the chaos and everything, he finally got this thing to a place where, yes, this is what I want to see. Yes, this is what I like. Yes, this is how it's supposed to be. All that stuff, right? But here it comes. But is the vision clear enough for all of us to have the same confidence that it seems that he has to be, Super Bowl or bust? You know what I mean? Or is it truthfully deep down for Sean? Is it, let's see how far we can go with this, because we know we don't have enough. I mean, head coaches are realistic like that within themselves, not in public, obviously, but this feels like one of those, let's see how far we can get with this type of season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Sean got exactly what he wanted out of the personnel that he was given. People think that this is exactly his vision. This is exactly the way he wanted to do it with the people he wanted it with. I think he wanted it done a different way, but the same result, kind of. I think when you look at how they built the team and the mixed messaging that we've gotten between Beane and we've gotten between McDermott and Brady, and not Babbage because he doesn't really talk that much, but you can kind of see cracks in the armor if you look at the messaging and what they're not saying. Like you said, with the team building, playing for their brothers and sticking up for their brothers, 111th. Now we have a 1/3. We got Beane, Babbage, and McDermott. They have cultural differences, physical, psychological differences. They have philosophical differences, but they're not going to throw each other under the bus blatantly.
Yeah,
especially not. Well, Brady might as well. I think you can add Josh Allen to the mix a little bit, because Josh Allen is an older statesman now. He's the third or fourth, I think maybe the fourth most tenured Bill at this time. I mean, I'm not gonna count Trey White because he left and came back. So that would give him the same amount of years as Josh, because Josh was drafted the year after. But in importance, this is Josh's team. Deion Dawkins says I'm the best left tackle in the game, whatever the case may be. At one point, you might have been, but this is not that point. We see the chinks in the armor when David Edwards has a bad game. You have a bad game. You're not holding anything up on that side.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at was when McDermott has a vision for this team, he says, yes, I want to run first, but I want to be imposing. I want James Cook to be, I want our line to make it so James Cook doesn't get touched before he gets 3 yards down the field, like we've seen with Jonathan Taylor's and Derrick Henry's and bigger guys that people say James Cook can never be.
Right.
In terms of the receiving game, I think McDermott, he wanted speed, but I don't think he really knows what he wanted speed for. He just likes the speed,
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of bigger guys, and I don't know if that completely falls in his lap. Was it that he said, okay, Beane and you supplied me with this data, and Terry Gray, you supplied me with this data. I like Keon Coleman. I like Dalton Kincaid. I like whatever, even though that's not really what I was looking for, but you convinced me.
Yeah.
I got these 3 guys to pick from, and I'll take him, and we see where that went. I think it goes so deep in terms of the development, the scouting, the auxiliary staff, things like that. That especially the trainers this year, nobody could have seen all these injuries and especially when you change from a guy that you said wasn't effective, you change from that guy to a new guy and it gets worse in some huge places. I mean, Josh Allen, let's face it, you know he's going to get hurt every year, and it's going to be a big injury because of the way he plays. Broken this, broken that, torn that, strained this, that, and third. So when you build a team, you have to build a team knowing that this is something that could possibly happen. I'm not saying go ahead and get yourself an expensive backup quarterback, but at that point, you want to go ahead and get yourself a wide receiver that gets open, so he doesn't have an opportunity, an opportunity that you can validate by the fact that everybody says nobody ever gets open. You have to be able to mitigate the and foresee things before they happen, and that's where we fell short this year. Milano, we rested on our laurels with Milano. We rested on our laurels with Earl Bernard, who's injured. Again, he's out. And I don't know if he would have been out if the game mattered, but he's out. You're looking at investing money in Curtis Samuel. That was a throwaway. We invested in Larry Ogunjobi, Michael Hoyt, guys that for one reason or another were not effective. So no, I mean, I think I do hear what you're saying, and I mean, I'm good with. You're right. McDermott builds a team to do what he wants it to do, but I do think there were other factors that he couldn't foresee that kind of impacted the way he thought the year was going to go.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. I guess I wasn't really saying that as a.
No, this time you weren't slighting him. No, this time.
Yeah,
this time you weren't.
I wasn't trying to slight him. I promise.
No, you didn't this time. But no, I think that was a good point because a lot of people they will say, well, this is because every coach has a philosophy. Every coach sees the game a certain way. Every coach, if every coach could do everything, we would have the same team. Every team doing the same thing. And that's what makes football, basketball, hockey, everything great. You want to see how my pluses can mitigate my minuses. You're going to see how their strengths go against my weaknesses. How can I get better? That's the chess match in all sports that makes it great. Otherwise, we playing, it'd just be luck of the draw, and there'd be no betting, there'd be no development, no trading, no free agency because everybody is a carbon copy of everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think the vision is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
For better or worse, more power to them. I think where the disconnect is for me
mm-hmm.
is it doesn't scream, Super Bowl is my focus.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's pretty obvious by now.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're still, I heard somebody talking about asking Sean in the press conference about his first draft class with Doug Whaley and how great of a draft class that was, and what was cited as part of the greatness of that first wave of players was the fact that a lot of them are still with the franchise.
Yeah.
And when I thought about that, I'm like, is that a good thing or a bad thing now? Because a lot of these guys are way beyond their prime.
Well, I mean, I think I get your point, and I like it because, there is merit to the first draft class. These guys were the better players we've had outside of Josh Allen and James Cook, people like that. But we kept them too long. We're throwing money at these guys when they're getting hurt, when they're losing value,
or maybe like being supremely dependent,
right,
is on them as much as we are. Like the fact that don't get me wrong. Again, having a guy like Deion Dawkins who's good at a lot of things and plays smart
mm-hmm.
is not a bad thing. But I would have moved him to guard probably 2 years ago.
Yeah,
two maybe 3 years ago.
I would either move him to guard, or I would have drafted a bona fide replacement that he has to compete against. That's the gotcha guy. So they preach iron sharpens iron, but I haven't seen it yet. Yep. If anybody wants to point me to any conversation where iron sharpened iron on this team, I'd be willing to listen. At what position? I don't know. It wasn't quarterback, wasn't running back, it wasn't wide receiver, it wasn't line, offensive line, defensive line. No, you pretty much, when you get in there and you actually don't make a fool of yourself, you're in there until you don't want to be there anymore. That's that, and they resign you. because they're loyal to their guys, and their guys are loyal to them because they take less money than they could get elsewhere. I mean, you say what you want about Greg Rousseau, but $20 million, I'm sure somebody that was like, you know what? I could do something with that dude. I'll give him 22 a year or 23, whatever. I'll get stupid with it because I have a lot of money. A New England or something like that would have put him in a wide 9 or a 2-point stance and 3-4, something like that. Say, all you do is that, get there, and he's like, all right, cool. Go ahead.
Damn it.
You got to.
That's all you get is one. That's all you get is one. He says McDermott for president. That's all you get is one.
Of course he does.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you, bro. Happy New Year's to you, Rich.
Yeah, Rich. Happy New Year to you. But I still don't like your comment.
Yeah, thank you. So,
and all sales are final, so you can't take it back.
Roy says, I think it's more likely Bean will try and trade for a number 1 wide receiver in the offseason as opposed to drafting one. I think this is a good conversation to really, take off on this particular show with, because I've refused to talk about the Jets in week 18. But it raises a very, very good question when it comes to solving the issue at wide receiver, right? And I think we can kind of all agree, that, for all time's sake, this group of receivers is just not good enough. They're not talented enough to offer what's needed in order to, have a not necessarily a prolific, but just a consistent pass game. They're not good enough to have a consistent pass game. If you have to run mesh as much as you do, that tells you right there there's a problem, right? But my question to you is this, and this is going to go a little bit deeper than I think we all probably intended. But you first and foremost, your thoughts on. Somebody told me this rumor today that it's possible the Bills might make a pass at Justin Jefferson and trade some first round picks to get him here. Your thoughts on that potential? I know you don't like to speculate and stuff, but like if that happened, would you be okay with that or would you be opposed to that?
I mean, at this point, what is it? What is the first round draft pick? Now this is the caveat. If we use 2 first round draft picks and then Bean gets fired or gets replaced, and then we have no first round draft pick for the next GM, and he really knows how to knock drafts out of the park, I'll hurt a little bit inside. But I think if you can afford to swing a Justin Jefferson, if you can figure out how to make it fit in the cap, because the thing is next year, your Waddle situation, that's not going to be as feasible. Your guys that just kick in their contract extensions is not as feasible as it was when they're on a rookie scale. So Justin Jefferson is about 35 million or something like that, 30, 35.
He should be there by next year. Let me just look at that break.
So I don't know what his cap hit is, but I know we don't have a lot of money to play with. So I saw somebody mentioning on X, getting rid of Samuel and getting rid of this and that and reducing Dawson Knox's cap hit by extending him, and which is fine. I'll do that, but I just don't see my own personal way without really looking at the cap and what we can do. I don't see what we can do to get a guy like that.
Yeah, man, his contract balloons from this year to next year. So this year his cap hit is 15 mil. It shoots up to 38 next year in 2026. 2027, 43 mil. Then it goes up in 2028 to 47 mil. Now here's where you may get some. You may have a shot at a restructure. Okay, because 2029 is a void year with a cap hit of 6 million. So maybe you trade for Justin, and he at that point he's 27 years old next year. That's about the same time as when they got Diggs, isn't it?
Yeah, 28 or something like that.
Right, so you get a 27-year-old Justin Jefferson here for a first round pick, and then you've got him under contract for 3 years. You restructure.
Well, he's going to have to restructure it there. They have to do it before he gets here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because if you trade for somebody, you have to absorb whatever the cap hit is. So you can't legally acquire somebody until their cap hit fits under your number. So if we have 6 million, and they're like, okay, give us 2 first. We got to figure out how to come up with the other 32 or whatever the rest of the cap is before we can acquire him and do something with his contract.
So can the Bills because I mean, cap wise, the Vikings are going to be able to take the hit. They don't have a quarterback; they're not paying the quarterback salary.
They have to be amicable to do that.
Would the Bills can the Bills offer money as part of the deal? Like, is that no? Okay, you can't give a team money.
No. If Minnesota really wants to get rid of him, then they can restructure. There's no harm, no foul on there. They'll talk to us and say, what are you guys looking at as a contract? If they really want to get deep into the weeds,
want multiple first rounders for this guy.
That's fine. I mean, that's really fine because you figure a healthier Justin Jefferson is gonna. Okay, let me think. Who's the offense coordinator? Because unless it's not Brady, I'm good. But if I see Justin Jefferson running tunnel screens, I am going to sock somebody. I'm going to sock everything in my path out. It's not going to be good. I'm going to start doing push-ups tonight because I'm going to come up with the heat because that would frustrate me. That would frustrate me beyond bounds. Oh, we got to get this the chat up here. Boom. Okay. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings me to the next portion of this question.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not like completely opposed to trading for Justin. Okay.
No.
So I guess the reason I started there was because my thought on drafting a number one receiver, like you talked about the guy that's in the draft that's like 6'5" and ran a 4.3 or whatever it was. As interesting as that is, I think the one thing that has happened in college now that I think stops the Bills from drafting a first round caliber wide receiver. And when I say first round caliber wide receiver, I mean like top tier. You know what I mean? Like the guy, like, Brian Thomas Jr. and, those types of receivers, right? I think what stops the Bills from doing that is the culture that exists in college football now where players are so much more empowered than they ever were.
Yeah,
right.
I just got over my nauseum, so I just got over it. So yes, you're right.
Yeah. So with that in place, these players don't feel like they need to bend over backwards for these coaches and these scouts that are calling and asking to interview them and stuff like that. It's like I've already established myself. I'm already a name. So if you draft me, you know what you're getting. There is no me coming there and just completely changing my identity. If you're going to draft Malik Nabers, you're getting Malik Nabers. Don't expect Malik Nabers to come there and be Anquan Bolden. Like that's not going to happen. Right. And I think to a lesser degree, we've kind of seen some of that with Keon Coleman. Like don't draft Keon and expect Keon to come there and be Andre Reed. Like that ain't me. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be everybody's best friend.
And he told him that.
Right.
He said, just Stephon Diggs. I'm not Steph. I'm not Gabe. I'm Keon. Next.
That's it.
And the onus for that right there tells you the onus is on the coach. So how the hell do I use Keon? I know how to use Steph. I know how to use Gabe, but what does I'm Keon mean? What does Keon? What does he really do well? And that's what he was misdiagnosed and cast as this high point guy, this catching traffic guy. He's not a 50. He was never that guy. Yeah. But they saw him do it a couple of times in the crusty Florida State highlights. That that's him. We need that. When in actuality, everything you saw in the highlight tape is all he did.
Right.
A 4-minute highlight tape is his whole career summed up in a YouTube clip. And they fell for it. They took the bait. And so for those reasons, I think you could get away with Justin Jefferson and still take a wide receiver in a second and get yourself a nice second man. It doesn't have to be number one. Even if he could be, he doesn't have to be. But you have to figure out, and you're gonna have to do some diving because you have to really figure out who you scouted, who you liked that will be available for whatever reason. If it was a couple of years, Xavier Legette, who's gonna flame out in Carolina. I mean, people loved him. I didn't, and you see why now. He's done less than Keon Coleman in his career. Keon Coleman, I think, is a third or fourth receiver out of that draft in terms of productivity. And that tells you all you need to know. Yeah. So if we're looking at going forward in our philosophy and our MO for getting our talent out of college, you have to change it and figure out how to mold yourself into a 21st century scouting staff and coaching mindset.
Yeah. Nate says, isn't that what we've said all season? Don't have the cap space for a bona fide number one wide receiver. Got to find a guy in the draft for Josh to mold. Denzel Boston. Hope you appreciate my acting skills there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't need Josh to mold somebody. I don't have time for that. I mean, I'm not saying that we can't get a guy that can play with Josh, but Josh is 30 years old. Josh has been in the league eight years now. Josh is gonna have to play with whoever he plays with, and he's gonna have to form a rapport with them. But I can't deal with another raw guy that we're gonna put on the field right away. Keon Coleman should have been sitting before he started. He should never have been starting, that early in his career. Did we ruin him? No, we didn't ruin him because he has confidence in himself. He believes in himself. But other guys that don't have that self-confidence and self-love can crumble quickly.
Yeah.
But they insulated the Keon Coleman thing with Gabe Davis now, with Joshua Palmer. It just doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. Mac Hollins, if you want to do Mac Hollins, he should have still been here for Keon Coleman. That's your investment in Keon Coleman because Mac Hollins is an elder statesman. He plays the same ball as Keon. He knows how to get open at the same size. And he's always on Instagram showing us how to do weird hacks and tricks. So Keon Coleman some stuff, and I'm sure he would listen, but you have to have a peer. And you got to have that dog in you, and Mac had that dog in him, and Keon would get it if he was allowed. But benching him, 4 games or whatever it was this year, that's not going to help you at all.
Yeah. Man, there's so many good comments I want to get to here.
This is Brandon Beane firing rumor, a real thing or a possibility? Y'all keep saying this, and I didn't hear it. No, that's just me wishing. That's not a rumor at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's a rumor at all. I think we've said it because my based on what I know, the relationship has been between Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott, based on stuff that I've been told about what happens in the building, it's stretched now. Like they started off tight, but at this current point, it's stretched. It's not easy to continue to accept the way that Sean McDermott behaves in the building when it comes to, the finger pointing and things like that. And I think Brandon Beane has gotten a lot more finger pointing at him within the last couple of years because of, draft picks not working out and stuff like that. And Sean really hasn't done much to cover Brandon Beane with his language. He hasn't used a lot of, verbiage that would make it clear that Brandon Beane's not the issue. It's the players not doing what they're supposed to do, or just not being as talented as we thought. They weren't what we thought they were. Right. Mm-hmm. So that's really where the idea of maybe Brandon Beane doesn't make it past this year, because a lot of the signs of how Sean has been talking about Beane has kind of shown much more distance than in past years this year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all about language.
Exactly.
Looking at how they're phrasing things these days.
Yep.
For me, Wyatt Town is really, I try to read breadcrumbs. I'd really try to read breadcrumbs. I have no intel whatsoever on what's happening behind the scenes. I just know that something doesn't feel the same. Mm-hmm. In this instance, it's when we have these situations, these instances that come up on the field, or around one Bill's drive, if you will, you don't hear Beane talk ever. You hear McDermott talk. Beane, all we heard was, and I don't know if we heard anything from Beane after he was asked, or McDermott was asked about acquiring, who was it? I forget who it was, but he said that's a Beane question, not mine. I'm not answering anything like that. Whoever, yeah. So was it the Waddle thing? I don't remember what it was, but it was some player that we didn't get.
Slay.
Yes.
Darius Slay. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
That was the situation.
That's a Beane question, but we didn't hear Beane's answer. So I don't.
Which is kind of crazy, because that's a situation that directly involves the GM. Did we even hear from Brandon Beane on that?
I did not.
I don't remember hearing. I don't remember seeing a press conference from Brandon Beane.
Dan, you hear anything?
Nope.
Yeah.
That's
telling.
That's very telling. That's very telling. How does your GM not make it in front of a camera to explain the situation?
I couldn't see the Eagles guy doing it. I couldn't see Baltimore's guy doing it. I could see them all having a conference or a statement or a tweet or something. Yeah. What was it? Albert said, would you say that the Chiefs wide receivers were talented last year? Maybe this argument doesn't work because of Reed, but we've seen it done. No, yeah. No, I wouldn't say that they were great last year, especially with the injuries and other. But like you said, Reed, if you watch his concepts, if you watch, how he works with the talent that he has, it's a night and day difference between the Bills and the Chiefs. We see the Chiefs change their offense behind the players they have on the field, where you see the Bills still trying to run the same concepts that we always run, regardless of who's on the field. And that's the issue. That's a big difference.
Okay, I want to get to this comment here. Albert says, would you say that the Chiefs wide receivers were talented last year? Maybe this argument doesn't work because Reed, but we've seen it done. I think I get where you're going with that. Just from the standpoint of, like, we've seen what Andy Reid can do with, wide receivers that, maybe are not like the biggest names coming out of college because of his scheme. But I think what we've seen this year, and I think this is maybe where your trepidation in using that point comes in at, is the level of success that they've had this year. I think a lot of that has to do with two things. First thing is they had more injuries on the offensive line this season than they did last season. And then the second part of that is you had a major fall off from Travis Kelce, who, let's be honest, he's been the dominant force that's been there through the championship years, like through, this climb up the hill and kind of reign over the AFC. It's been on the shoulders of Travis Kelce, and that's been the safety valve for Pat Mahomes whenever the receivers can't get open. He'll just communicate with his tight end. It's usually a mismatch, whether he's going against a safety, he's too big, or going against a linebacker, he's too agile and shifty, and he gets open. They haven't had a ton of that this year with Travis Kelce. So I think what that really speaks to, and the reason why I wanted to bring this comment up, is I think that speaks to the necessity for some kind of dominant force in your passing game. And unfortunately, for the Buffalo Bills, it's Dalton Kincaid. If that guy is healthy, this pass game works. We've seen it several times this season. When that guy is healthy and you're going against elite competition, that's the guy that usually unlocks things for you. Now, if he's playing and he's not healthy, he's not getting targets, it's going to look like it did 2 weeks ago, where he was I think he was healthy 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he was healthy against Cleveland, but he wasn't getting a lot of targets. Why? Because he's not all the way back yet.
Right.
He's still fighting through stuff. He's still, like, he's out there on the field, but he's more of a decoy than than an impact on the game. And defenses are figuring this stuff out after a few plays. If you ain't throwing it to your best weapon, I used to say this in flag football all the time. Like, you just a decoy. Like, I ain't got to worry about covering. You know what I'm saying? Like, you learn that stuff really quick. So I think the message here is very clear. Do not play Kincaid. Don't put him on the field. Don't do anything with him until the playoffs start, and then hope that in the midst of all this, these reps he's going to get when he comes back, that he's able to kind of sustain that level of action through whatever he's fighting through, even to this point in the season. And without that, you're going to have to change things schematically. And I don't know how much Sean is willing to allow Brady to switch things up schematically.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I think that's, when it comes to the conversation on receiver, I think where I'm trying to, like, land this conversation at to expand is, it's a hard choice between, do I trade and give up that draft capital for a guy that's established, but it's going to cost more, and it's going to preclude me from being able to do other things with the roster, especially with all these contracts that you're going to have defensively ending next season. You got a lot of stuff to replenish, right? Do I do that, or do I try to draft a guy that may not be a cultural fit, may not be put in position to do what he did best in college, because he doesn't get along, or, in the way that the coach would want? Maybe he doesn't get playing time because he's not fitting directly into the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen this year more than any, I've seen how the Bills operate with players, and I've said this before, there's a level of expectation of humility that the Bills have of players that I don't think is very realistic in with the college culture anymore. I just don't.
Yeah.
Like these players that are coming out of college are cocky now. They don't, they'll meet on their schedule. You'll catch a few guys, that can be humble and all that kind of stuff. But most of these guys, unless you're a 6th, 7th, round, 5th, 6th, 7th round pick, like if I'm in the 4th, hey, that's still an impact spot. I get drafted 4th, I can still play.
I get balls.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if I'm a wide receiver. What?
Yeah.
I'm about to come up there and wreck shop.
Yeah, I mean, people are talking about Nate talking about Nizzle Boston. I mean, base wide receiver 4.5 speed. I mean, I'm still cool with Chris Brazzell from Tennessee, 6'4", 205, but he's got a 4.4 speed. He runs routes really well. Good mix of pace to get open. He can separate very well. I think this is somebody that Josh Allen would love. You can go as far as Casey Concepcion, who's a shorter guy, 5'11" or so, who is an intermediate guy that can get you back to, the Diggs-ish kind of play. Not saying he's going to produce like Diggs or anything like that. Don't take that. But I'm just saying that's the mold that we can get back into with the guys I've named so far. But no, there is merit. But see, that's the thing. You got to figure out who the offensive coordinator is and what he covets in his wide receivers. What philosophy does he want? What archetype does he like? And we won't know that until we know who the offensive coordinator is, and we still won't know what his game plan is until we see what he does with regards to McDermott's thinking. Because you bring in a new guy who has all the tricks, all the frills, and all that, and McDermott's not going to trust him for two reasons. One, it's not what he wanted, and two, he's never seen you do it in the NFL. And to your point earlier with regards to McDermott coaching to the Super Bowl, I think it's simply this. It's simply that he's been to the Super Bowl one time, but he doesn't really know what it takes to get there. He's been there, but he hasn't been the architect that built the team to get to that level. He didn't have to deal with Cam Newton. He had to deal with the guys that they had on that team that weren't on his side of the ball. Whereas now he has to deal with everybody, all the personality, all the coaches, all this, and that's the difference. And he doesn't have anybody to, as much as people say, he shouldn't, he doesn't have anybody to walk him through how to get where he is right now. Right now, he's kind of self-made. And in his mind, he's like, well, I got this far thinking the way I think. Why can't I go further? And we all are that kind of person. If you see a moderate success, you're like, I'm gonna keep doing that. It's working.
Right.
It's working. But it's working to a certain degree, but you don't think about what it takes to get you over the hump until you really have to get over the hump. And that comes from the pressure from above to say, you know what, this is your best year. Lamar might not be in there. Burrow's not in there. Mahomes isn't in there. You got Herbert. You got who? Maybe Aaron Rodgers. Could be Lamar, but maybe Aaron Rodgers. You got a quality path to the Super Bowl. This is the first time in years that you've had the best chance of getting to the Super Bowl. So how are we not going to fumble this one, Sean? That's what the owner would say. How do we not fumble this one, Sean? I trust in you. This is your chance. Mm-hmm. Don't let me down. I'll be disappointed if we don't get to the promised land. Albert earlier, and I don't remember where he said it, but he said something about he's not worried about if he wants the Super Bowl and he doesn't care if we're bad for 10 years after he just wants one.
Oh, I was just looking at that one.
Okay.
That's, right here.
Okay. He said, why are we talking about future when we want to win the Super Bowl? I think I'm different because I'm willing to be bad for 10 years. If we win the Super Bowl, my stance might be weird. It's not weird.
It's not weird.
Because a lot of people feel that way. I don't, but it's not weird.
Right.
I would love to get the Super Bowl and then, say we lose in the wild card again. I don't want to fall completely from grace because we won a Super Bowl. I still want the fire to be hot. I want the iron to be sharpened under the coach. There's nothing else you can do after getting a Super Bowl. There's no higher accomplishment than the Super Bowl. He's never going to win the Coach of the Year. That's not going to happen because he's got Josh Allen. The only time he could have won Coach of the Year, in my opinion, was either 2017 when he first got here and took him to the playoffs, or 2020 when we had the boom the Stephon Diggs, that boom of a year where we were just running through everybody. After that, Josh Allen's established. They know you're expendable pretty much in Buffalo. You're not getting coach of the year. So there's nothing else for him to do besides get a Super Bowl. So I understand, the 10 years, but that's 10 years. I'm 41 now. So we'll say we win on 42-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I can't go till I'm 52 to see it again.
Yeah.
That's a long time. That's a long time. And that's just me being greedy, but that's just how I am.
Yeah. I was actually mistaken about Jaguars v Texans this Sunday. That is not happening. It's
Jaguars Colts, right?
It's Texans Colts, Titans Jaguars.
Okay.
Yep. So the reason I'm bringing that stuff up, I'm looking at the playoff picture here with the percentages on NFL.com. The Bills are currently 7th. In the AFC playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
and the highest percentage or the highest likelihood of seeding for them is the 6th seed. Now the Chargers are the team that's most likely to be the 7, and the Chargers are playing. Who are the Chargers playing? They're playing the Broncos in Denver. So. And as far as I know, the Chargers, I don't think can win. Actually, I think they can win the division. Let me just look back at this real quick. So the Chargers cannot win the 1 seed.
Denver, New England, those are pretty much the two that's jockeying for that 1.
Yeah. So if the Chargers win, they stay the 6, and the Bills stay the 7. If the Chargers lose, which is more likely according to NFL.com, they become the 7, and the Bills become the 6. So as of right now, the Texans hold the tiebreaker. They are 68% likelihood to stay the 5th seed. They also have a shot at the number 3 seed, and I think that's based on whether or not the Jaguars lose to the Titans. I'm sure they would need some other help for that to happen. I kind of like getting into all of these different scenarios, just for stuff to watch for on Sundays. But your thoughts, bro, on the Bills being the 7 seed and having to go to New England next week?
Better win. I mean, this is how I feel, and I said this. I used to say this all the time when we were like friends teams. You remember we used to talk about it. I'd be like, yo, if we're talking about who we don't want to see, we don't deserve to be here. I think anybody that we line up again, I don't care if it's Kansas City, I don't care if it's Baltimore, I don't care where it is, I don't care if it's in my middle school West Hurdle parking lot. They better win, because there's these are pros. These are guys that have time to formulate a plan, to execute the plan. We've been playing together for 18 weeks now, 2021 if you want to count preseason, and at this point in time, it's like execute. No more excuses, injuries, no more. You built the team. You knew I just said earlier, you knew who was susceptible to be injured or whatever the case may be. I mean, of course, there's a lot of ones that we didn't see coming, but Josh, come on now. When the last time he got through a whole season without being injured?
Yeah.
Terrell Bernard, when's the last time? Milano, when's the last time? Trey White, did you really think he's going to be this good? Jordan Poyer, did you think he's going to be this good? But we relied on these guys.
Yeah.
So now it's time, no more excuses. We have to win. This is, and going to New England, going to Houston, I want all the smoke. Because to beat a man, you got to beat the man. Beat him. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we go to Jacksonville, round 1 and lose.
Beat him. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
What's the first chip to fall?
Round 1 and lose to Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Wait, what does that mean? What's the first chip to fall?
Who's the first person fired, basically?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Because there's no way that no one gets fired after that.
After losing in round 1 to Jacksonville?
The fan base would not be quiet about that. They have to do something.
Yeah, we lost to Jacksonville. What was it? In 2017 to Blake Bortles and Tyrod Taylor, the marquee matchup.
I still think it's Brandon Beane, man. I think Joe Brady's out no matter what.
So maybe they'll amicably part ways.
The Bills and Brandon Beane?
No.
Oh,
Joe
Joe
Brady.
Brady. Yeah,
That's gonna be there.
Yeah. Yep. He wanted to take a job in college or something like that. You know, it's a upward movement thing for him, and there was no upward movement for him here.
Right.
So which one of them gets announced first?
Brady.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't think Brandon Beane's getting fired. I just don't. I think Brady's the one. He'll get a job because college football is going to be over. He's already been, as soon as they're going to be like, he was asked to interview at that place the third, and because we're in the playoffs, he didn't take any interviews.
That's probably right.
And then as soon as we lose, he's going, you know what?
Yeah.
You like to thank him for everything he did the last 2.5 years, and you know, good luck, blah blah blah. Brandon Beane's like,
I hope somebody's recording this because we're like really predicting the future right now. Yeah, like yeah. that is probably the biggest likelihood. Like I think what makes it tough is the way the offenses look this season. It's possible that Brady's mystique has been soured unless he's going to college. But even with that, I just, after what's gone on this year, I just don't know if there's going to be a college program willing to bring him in as a head coach when his most recent product on the field is a very bad passing game and the Buffalo Bills being known for running the ball. And everybody knows you have not been the designer of the run game.
Right.
Like everybody knows it's been Cromer on that side of the ball. So I think it's just a lateral move at this point. He's gonna find another college team to go be the offensive coordinator for, and that's gonna be, he's gonna get himself out of there. But I think there's gonna be so much pressure this offseason from fans to get rid of Beane. I don't know how you don't see that happen, especially after Kekalainen coming in and all of a sudden the Sabres have won 10 in a row. Like all of that off of firing a GM. You know what I'm saying? Like fans are like that. They're going to see something that worked and be like, hey, maybe we should do that here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think both are right. I think if we're really being realistic, I think it is the departure of Joe Brady.
Right. Yeah. So what do you guys think? You guys think it's Joe Brady? You think it's Brandon Beane? You think others? Put in the comments. I see a couple people actually did say
snap. Brady will be in Detroit next season.
So does it change anything though if Brady goes and calls an amazing game against the Jags and we have a really good pass outing and we still lose because the defense can't hold?
Ooh. Why would you do that, Dan?
Does he have an NFL coaching job offer if that happens?
I think
he proves it in the playoffs.
I think he gets one regardless. I think it's gonna. I don't know. Honestly, I can't tell you who, but I think he's gonna get a low level offer regardless of whether he coaches a good game or a dud. Somebody's already looking at him and they think the way that you've laid it out with regards to the handcuffs put on him by McDermott. Somebody's gonna be real hungry to air it out. And say he did it at LSU. He could do it now if we let him have the reins to the offense, unencumbered. So I think there are eyes on him regardless of what he does in the playoffs with the Bills.
Steve, where you been, bro?
He been watching other podcasts. He ain't watching us no more.
Is that what it is?
Steve, he like you guys go up 5:30, they go up 5:30. I don't
can't
know.
get a steak. I can't get no steak seasoning. And I can't get none of that.
I go to the store. I look at the meat section. I'm like, Steve Noble wouldn't know what to do with this. But I can't ask because you're not here. But go ahead.
That's right. It says trade Brady for Shanahan, the OC at Indiana. Who is that?
You're talking. Okay. I mean,
I'm asking the college guy. I have no idea who that is.
I mean, you're talking about the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. You're talking about Elijah Sherratt. You're talking about, I don't know. I mean, he might be able to translate, but at the same time, if you're trading Brady for Shanahan, the OC at Indiana, McDermott's going to say you're too green. I don't know what you can do on this level. I need to hold your hand as we go forth in this endeavor. I can see where people would like liken Mendoza's style to Josh Allen because he's kind of helter-skelter. He runs around, he throws it. Well, I don't know if it was the championship game or what it was, but when they played Ohio State, the first pass, he got knocked out of the game for a play because it took a hit to the chest, and his brother came in and backed him up for a second, but came back in. But he's reckless, and Indiana was a good program this year. But you still have to have that they got two good wide receivers over there that are going to be in this draft this year. So I don't know. I mean, I think we really have our work cut out with regards to who they have as offense coordinator, how much power they give them. I don't think it's really a matter of the person per se. It's just can they work what we have, and can they be creative with what we have already?
Nico says, quick question, guys. How many teams are saying we don't want to face the Bills due to Josh, obviously?
I mean, okay, I'm not going to say anything.
There's two teams that I believe are for sure saying that, and I'll even throw in three, right? Because that Ravens Steelers game is an absolute toss up right now. We're hearing that TJ Watt might even play in that game, and you know what I mean. So
they won it, yeah, they won it.
Yeah, that's going to be an all nighter. You know what I'm saying? Like that is going to be a tough game. But I'm going to say Ravens don't want to see Josh, Steelers don't want to see Josh, and the Broncos definitely don't want to see Josh. All of those teams are teams in the playoffs that have seen Josh and barely lived to tell about it, right? The other teams, they have good defenses, so they're probably feeling a little confident. I mean, maybe the Patriots are saying we don't want to see Josh this early, I think the Patriots are in a position where, this is the first playoff game for Drake May coming up. And for a young guy like that in a high pressure, high leverage situation, you kind of want him to be able to get an easy one under his belt, really be able to settle in. And I know it's the playoffs, but you're at home. You, for the most part, you're the 2 seeds. So you've got home field advantage, except for the AFC Championship game. You kind of want to face one of those easier teams, but
for the 7th, won't be. They'll be at home,
right? Well, so who put this? Hold on. Where is it? Okay, so yeah, this was it. Thank you. No Bone says Chargers in Denver with no Herbert. See, I didn't know Herbert wasn't playing. So they're the 7 unless the Jets beat us. I don't think the Jets are beating our backups. I just don't think they're good enough.
They said on GR today. Well, I was listening on the way in, and Mike Schopp and Bullet Dark said they don't know if we're much better than they are with our backups. I'm like, those fighting words, brothers. Those fighting words, brother. Even with our back, I mean, Trubisky is not as bad as people think he is. He's not as good as he's supposed to be. Yeah. But if I had to have a backup, he probably, him and Jameis Winston are guys I'd be like, yes. But obviously Joe Milton for sure. There are a couple of guys I'd like to have if we had to at backup, but I think we're decent with Trubisky. We've seen him come into the game and one play, 32 yards down the field, make a play to 2nd, 3rd. And I think Trubisky knows how to get loose a little bit. So, in a game that there's no stakes, he knows it doesn't really matter. He can go out there and show somebody he still has it. He can have that Tyrod Taylor kind of career or something like that, where he can hope that somebody gets hurt and be a starter, something like that.
I'm about to make you pull your hair out.
What's happening?
What if Trubisky goes into the game on Sunday at 4:25 and slings it for like 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and you got freaking I don't know, you name it. Like Shavers goes off for 150 yards, and you got name one other receiver that doesn't get a whole lot. Like Keon plays in this game and he goes off for
125 again.
For 125. Like, what if this offense looks so? My question in all this is that gonna be, well, it's the Jets, it's the last game of the season, or is it gonna be more along the thought process of, this team played more openly offensively enough to throw for that many yards? Because obviously you have to have a mindset of we're going to sling the ball, to be in position to have 400 yards passing and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't just happen from, we're going to run 40 times. and
having to catch a couple
off
80 yarders.
Yeah, we're not going to throw screen passes for 400 yards. That's not going to happen, right? So which would be more egregious though? Like the fact that our backups go off on the Jets for like for that many yards, or the fact that the Bills decided they were going to open up the pass game in that game and then show, hey, we can really, throw this thing around the yard when we really want to.
Let me add on to that too.
Yes, please.
So
let's go.
Along with Trubinsky having a 400-yard game and our receivers going off, James Cook doesn't get touches and he loses the crown.
Oh,
honestly, that as much as I would love to see him get the rushing title, I'm good with him not getting it. I'm cool. I mean, I want to see. They're gonna play him. Based on what McDermott said, they're gonna play him unless Jonathan Taylor just goes off for like 180 yards and it's like James Cook needs 140. Because McDermott says, I think it was today. I didn't hear the press. I just heard secondhand that he said, I'm very aware of where we stand with James. I'm very aware he wants that title. And I'm very aware that, that we have to see what Jonathan Taylor does. When they asked him if he was going to play him, he said, I'm very aware of the race. And I know he wants it. That's what McDermott said.
There's no way he's going to play James Cook that much.
No, if it's no. If it's I mean, you got to figure if Jonathan Taylor goes for 100 yards the first time in 3-4 weeks,
okay.
Cook has to go for 54 yards.
They're not doing that against the Texans.
No, what I'm saying is, though, I'm just giving So what I'm saying is the 54 yards is attainable. James Cook can rip that off in 2 runs if he really wanted to.
That's true.
So, but if he goes for 190 or something like that, we got to go for 140 in order to tie him. He's not going to play him. Okay. That's what I'm saying. If Jonathan Taylor has an all season game and it's out of reach and like, we're not going to injure this guy because we're trying to taste this. But if it's something manageable, like, 50 or 60 yards, they might see how it looks. Yeah. And go from there. But I'm not really as worried because he doesn't get the extra money for the rushing title. He doesn't get extra money for anything he does in this game. So it's of little consequence.
So here's the thing: the Texans have a shot at the 3 seed, right? Let me see here. Yeah, the Texans have a shot at the 3 seed if the Jaguars lose.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the Jaguars are playing the Titans. They are where are they playing? They're in Jacksonville. Okay, so if Jacksonville cares about seeding, they're gonna play. They're gonna play their starters. They're gonna do what it takes to win that game, put that game away quick, so that they can rest their guys.
Mm-hmm.
Even with that, I still don't think the Texans are gonna throw away an opportunity at getting the 3 seed and having home field advantage. I think they're still gonna try to play to win against the Colts, who are going into this game starting Riley Leonard, who has not looked that great. So I don't think Jonathan Taylor is gonna go off for some astronomical number of yards. I think if anything, the game is over at halftime, more so than not. With that being said, I mean, the way the situation looks right now, James Cook should walk away with this thing, pretty early on Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could be wrong. I was wrong about saying the Bills should have an easy, they should be on easy street throughout the season. But I mean, based on the scenario at hand there, the highest likelihood is Texans are not giving up that many yards to Jonathan Taylor. Cook walks away with the title. And for the second year in a row, he's leading all running backs in a particular category.
Mm-hmm. You said JT gets 30 yards and that's it.
It's probably it's probably it.
That's what who was it? Steve Noble said he's more worried about Derrick Henry going for 200.
That's the other option is Henry and Bijan could each get 200 and pass Cook too.
Yeah, Henry's got to get like 137 or something like that, and Cook he's 137 behind him now, so he has to get 200. And I mean, like I said,
Henry's not doing that against the Steelers though.
Yeah,
where's this game? It's in Pittsburgh. Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah, he had 216 against Green Bay. But I don't think. Yeah, I mean, this on tape. It's on tape, so they're not going to allow him to embarrass him the way that he did just last week. But yeah, like I said, I don't get wrapped up in all the accolades of rushing titles. And it'd be nice if he had it, but I'm not going to be burnt about it if he doesn't. I don't want people adding me. Told you he sucks. He's not worth it. Okay, he's number 2 in rushing. And what are we doing here? But I mean, where else would you rather put your running back chits right now? James Cook.
Oh yeah.
That's all to it. Somebody, I think I read somebody say, what did they say? I forgot who it was. It was a running back that's not in the league anymore. He said, there's too much going around, and I don't hear enough James Cook and another running back in conversations being top dogs. I forgot exactly who said it because it just popped in my head. But
was it Max Crosby?
No, it was a running back that's not in the league anymore.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember who it is. But you see, I can't understand it. So I'm putting it in atmosphere that James Cook and whoever the other guy was is they're it. I think who was it on one of those TV shows? Was it Ryan Clark said? No, it was Emmanuel Acho. He said James Cook, he's one of them dudes. He said he's one of them. He's a creature. And I mean, you watch him playing, you're like, yes, he is a creature. You can see it. And now I want to see it translate to a wide receiver. Somebody that might not be a top 10, we'll say, but that's somebody you got to worry about. Because of him. Then to the point about who do I think is worried about Buffalo? Obviously because of Josh Allen. Is it obviously because of Josh Allen? Or is it because of they don't know whether it's going to be Cook or Allen? I mean, this year has been a down year for Allen, not because of what he's done per se, but because of what's been put on the plate for him. Namely the scheme. I'm not going to go to the wide receivers. I'm not going to put the tight ends at 13, 14, 15 we talked about. It'd be interesting. The tight ends are running amok out there, but it's really the scheme. We didn't take enough time to figure out what we can do with what we have and how they work off each other. That's the problem.
So you're basically saying that Hard Knocks killed it for us this season. Basically.
I never said that. Yeah, I really think it did, because even Josh said I didn't like it. He said it grew on me. He always says he always got to spin stuff. Yeah. But when he starts something by saying I don't like it, stay with that. He didn't like it.
I wonder what let me see if I can find this. But what are teams' records that end up on Hard Knocks? Like what's their record the following season?
They've always been pretty bad because this was the first time
they had a good team.
The rules changed,
right?
Where a team that previously made the playoffs could be on the show.
Oh,
that's why they went with the Bills, because it was the first time they could choose a good team that's already coming into the season prepared to go on a run.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
And Josh said that. He said, we didn't think we were going to get it because usually it's a team that's not good. He said we thought we were good, we were safe, but they told us we don't really have a choice. And McDermott said we don't have a choice in the matter. We can't tell them no. That's I guess some kind of agreement with HBO and the NFL. You can't say no. They say we want you they get. And they just said because of the previous rules, we didn't think it was us. We thought we were safe. Nope.
Didn't help that the director of the show was from Rochester,
right?
So he was pulling a homer card.
My God,
right. He just wanted to see his hometown team.
How many more times are Bills fans going to get in the way?
Yeah, no.
If you were paying attention, though, you would have known that Allen did not want Hard Knocks before we ever got it, because he did not want quarterback. If you looked at the reports, the year after they did Mahomes, they tried to ask Allen. And he actually went and talked to Mahomes personally and asked him about the experience. And he was completely turned off from any sort of television stuff after that, because Mahomes said it was a nightmare for him. There was always cameras around, even outside the building, and he just couldn't focus at all.
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, when they say is and raw and they can do whatever they want, cameras all over the place, it's a production. That's not how we operate. Our team doesn't operate well into that, because they're not bright lights guys. They focus on their craft, head down behind it. Josh Allen said, we what do you say? He said to win the lotto, you got to buy a ticket. Mm-hmm. To get to the Super Bowl, you got to get to the playoffs. We're getting to the playoffs. That's our ticket. Like most teams wouldn't say that.
Right.
Most teams would say, especially not somebody like Josh Allen or any other team would say, we're just happy to be the underdogs.
Yeah.
Like he said. And that tells you the mentality. We don't want to be bright lights guys. You married an actress. You married somebody that was in the highest grossing movie of 2025. We'll say somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be in the bright lights.
He's also super private with his home life. So.
Josh is.
Yeah. So I mean, and that doesn't work well with those kind of productions, because they're gonna come to your house. Usually, you saw Bill O'Brien when he was on there. They showed him feeding his disabled child. They showed people with their kids. We didn't care about watching Deion Dawkins drift. We didn't care about I thought
not.
I thought the best part of the whole Hard Knocks was when they had the defensive linemen sitting down eing together. I thought that was the whole. So you don't even remember it, but I thought that was it, because they had. What was the defensive tackle's name?
Dwayne Carter.
No. I don't want to say. He came in for preseason. He's not black. We'll say that. He had a point. I don't remember his name, but he was okay. But we knew he wasn't going to make the team. But he talked about being embraced by the guys and how much it meant to be here and how much this, that, and third. And it was raw and it was uncut, and it tugged at your heartstrings. It was there. But the rest of
Casey Rogers.
Yes. Yep. Casey Rogers. And that part was the part I remember the most about Hard Knocks. I didn't really care about Trey White playing with Deion's kids. I'm Uncle Trey. Remember me? Blah blah blah. Didn't care. I care about the other stuff that they showed in the previous years of Hard Knocks, but this year they didn't get to it for whatever reason. Well, because McDermott said so. He said he spent a lot of time trying to maneuver things away from the cameras, and that showed on the field. We didn't see the execution we're used to seeing. We didn't see the attention to detail that we're used to seeing. We don't see a sharp Josh Allen. We don't see a sharp McDermott play call. We don't see a lot of stuff like we're used to seeing out of this organization.
Yep. I want to get to this comment here. All right. So Laura says, I think WGR also said Garrett Wilson has the most receiving yards on the Jets, and he hasn't played since week 10. That's kind of the situation that we're in with Keon Coleman.
I was going to say, I mean, that's cool, but the guy that everybody wants to say is garbage is our second leading receiver.
Yeah.
And he's been sat out, 4 games so far? Yeah. I mean, the way they talk about him, you would think he hasn't been, obviously he hasn't done much, but that tells you all of the receivers. It's not just him. He's not being left in the dust. He's blending in with the rest of the crowd. He's the number 2 receiver, the number 4 receiver on the team, ahead of James Cook, ahead of Ty Johnson, ahead of Ray Davis, ahead of anybody not named Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, and of course Khalil Shakir. He's number 4, and he's not going to be passed by Joshua Palmer because he's not going to play enough to be passed.
Videsh said Jets getting their first interception on Sunday. I mean,
that's insane. They won a whole season without interception. That's insane.
I saw a post that said that McDermott should just call all runs the entire game, just so that they cannot get an interception.
That would make me like Sean. That would make me like, if Sean was spiteful like that to make sure they didn't get any interceptions and purposely ran the entire game. That's it. He's got a new fan after that. I'm fine if he stays. I'm fine if he stays.
See how easy it is to please this guy?
Yeah, I mean, a little pettiness goes a long way for me.
I know.
Goes a very long way for me.
Even put wide receivers in the backfield.
Yeah.
Well, he's been doing it all year with Khalil Shakir, but
Oh my gosh. All right. So look, here's where we're at after all of this. Get all the interesting stuff out of the way. And here comes the mushy stuff. I want to give Tommy credit for this because he did point this out to me earlier. I want to pull it up here, see if I can. All right, so there's a thumbnail that the Bills put out, and I don't know what show this is for. I don't know, where this is posted. But he sent me the thumbnail that the Bills posted that says "Farewell Highmark Stadium." Have you seen that? Did you see who's on it?
Pagula was on there, I think, right?
Pagula's on there. Josh Allen's on there. Jim Kelly's on there. Sean McDermott is on there. And Chris Berman is on there.
Wow.
I mean, whatever.
Really?
Whatever.
Really?
Whatever.
Best player the franchise has ever had.
Well, that's
not even on there.
Well, the point is, what's the name of the stadium? The second name of the stadium.
Rich.
Second one.
Stadium.
Ralph.
Ralph Wilson.
Yeah.
Where's he?
That's kind of my point.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so this is okay. I'm gonna cut you off, but there's another face they're leaving up there completely because you said they have Josh. They have say it again, Josh.
They got
Sean.
Josh Pegula, Jim Kelly, Sean, and Chris Berman.
Okay.
Come on, you got it.
Where's Marv Levy?
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Where's Marv Levy?
Where the hell is Marv Levy? Thank you. When he told me that, he called me. He was like, "Yo, bro, I'm about to send you this photo. Like, you got to look at this thing. Like, this is. Tell me what you think."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking. I'm like, "The hell is Chris Berman doing on there with all these people? Like, this is official. This is what they put out. Like, this is really what they doing? Like, Pegula is. You saw, like, you seen this, right?
I saw that. Yep.
Like, this is.
Can you text that to me right now?
Yeah, I'll text it to you right now.
It's a YouTube video, Dan.
It's a YouTube video? Okay.
Yeah, it's
so
a YouTube video.
I'm going to still text it to him.
No, yeah.
He asked me so nicely.
I was just saying, you're going to watch, because you're going to have to watch it. It's not just a picture. I was just letting you know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good watch. I watched it. It's a good watch. This is my thing, too. See, this is where my disconnect with a lot of fans are. Because people that see that thumbnail are, F yeah! Woo! Bills, Mafia! But you don't know the history.
Mm-hmm.
People that watch this iteration of the show, you have a history, and I'm glad that this is a perfect segue to where we're going to go for the next 45 minutes of the show. And I'm not going to move off your point, but
go wherever you want, bro.
People that see that thumbnail and don't immediately say, "Where's Marv? Where's matter of fact, where's OJ?" Now, this is why I say that. This is why I say that. People who know. What was the first moniker of Rich Stadium? The first moniker after the 73 season was what? Dan, do you know?
I do not. Does it have something to do with juice?
This is the house that OJ built. That was the motto for Rich Stadium in 73.
Which was the first name of that stadium.
Which is the first name of that stadium. He put the stadium on the map. He was the reason I think it was after the 72 season or whatever it was, where I think he hit the scoring title. I think he got the 2,000-yard season the year before they all eyes were on OJ. What is Juice going to do next?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they get a new stadium too. Juice is about to kill it in this stadium. This is the house that Juice built.
Yep.
Where's Juice on there? Where is Marv? You say it all the time. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Where the hell is Marv?
Where's Bruce?
I mean, yeah, where's Bruce? I mean, fine. Bruce, okay.
If you're gonna do iconic players,
he should be, but
yeah,
even more so than him, you have to have Juice, you have to have Marv.
That's right.
Because without those two names, those two faces for people older than us, they think about Juice, they think about Marv, they think about Jim, and that's what gets me teary. When you listen to One Bills Live today, I was glad to listen to it today. They had Dan Marino on there. Dan Marino and Jim Kelly was on there as well. Now, when you're 41, 42, 43, whatever age you are, you remember growing up watching Jim Kelly, watching, COs and watching Biscuit, watching Tally, watching all those guys. You learn football behind those guys at this stadium. You remember the transition of the end zones, the decoration of end zones. You remember when they put better seats, and you remember when they put the other jumbotron on the side. You remember these things, but you don't. You when you're a Bills Mafia fan and that's all you know, because Josh, and this is why my pushback on all the Josh talk is because we have this disjointed history. Josh is going to be the face of this new high mark. Josh is the face of the now, but who can tell you the past? Guys like Roy, guys, Steve Nobles, who I know are older than me, that were around for the Super Bowls, or around for the bad times. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But the new era people, the new stage people that jump on because the Bills are happening, you didn't go through, I didn't even get to go through the first drought. I remember, do you have anything else? Because I think we're just going to go into
it.
Go into it. Now, when you think about the Bills, let me give you some history first. I will tell you, it was built in 72, opened in 73. It cost $22 million $22 million. Today, 156 mil. Our stadium we're gonna get is what 1 point something billion.
No, I'm sorry, it's over 2 billion.
Okay,
now.
$2+ billion. Obviously Orchard Park, and we're still gonna be in Orchard Park. Name changes for the stadium: 73 to 97, Rich Stadium. Remember that now. 98 to 2015, Ralph Wilson Stadium. 2016 and 2019, New Era Field. 2020 is Bill Stadium. 2021 the present, Highmark Stadium. Now, for those that don't know, it was originally AstroTurf with 80,000 seats in it. 80,000.
80,000?
80,000. And the Bills game versus the Jets. I think it was September 30th? I have it here. I believe it was September 30th, 73. They filled it up. Juice from air 24 times for 124 yards, no touchdowns. But the game was won by the Bills 9-7. Now, this is a little bit of a treat. I'm going to give you some trivia here. I want somebody not to look it up. You're going to laugh. The Bills head coach for the home opener was Lou Saban. Does anybody know the name of the Jets head coach in 1973 when we played at Rich Stadium? You won't get it. The
name of the I won't get it?
No, you won't get it. Now,
all right. Roy, where you at, bro?
Right?
You got to know this.
Oh, Slim Nady said Roy with only 3 channels to choose from. I roll up. No, not Namath. Okay. I'm not gonna drag it on too long, but if you knew it, pat yourself at all. Kato said no, not at all. His name was Weeb Eubank. Put the camera on A. Put the camera on A.
Oh, Steve.
Put the camera.
Right as you said it, he
did
put that comment in. I don't know who made it first, you or him.
Yep. Weeb Eubank. WEEB Eubank. His name was Wilbur Charles Eubank. Now, when did Weeb become the nickname for Wilbur? I thought Will Burr. Weeb Eubank. Yep.
What kind of backwater?
I don't know.
Swampville nickname.
I was like, how old is he? He was born in 1907. He died in 98. So Weeb. I've never heard of another person named Weeb before. And I know Wilbur. Weeb Eubank. Yep. He was a coach for Baltimore for 11 years and coached for the Jets for 9. Had about a little bit of below 50% career winning percentage. Wow. Yes, Weeb. Let's see. What else do we have? Okay. Now, for people at home, I know you know that Rich Stadium, Ralph Wilson, Highmark, Bill Stadium, whatever it wasn't just for football. Oh, no. We had concerts there as well.
I don't remember any concerts there.
We had Garth Brooks. I think they had Luke Combs not long ago.
Yeah.
Aerosmith. I think it's Aerosmith or Metallica. One of the two.
Aerosmith.
Aerosmith. Good. Okay. I thought it was. But people do know, and this is from my son, Michael Jackson, 1984.
Ooh.
Michael Jackson came to Buffalo August 25th through the 26th, performed at Rich Stadium, part of the Victory Tour. Now, the concert was the concert of the century, billed by local news. It was also the largest concert ever, one of the largest concerts ever held at Rich Stadium. Fans packed the stadium to see Michael Jackson perform songs from Thriller, Off the Wall, and the Jackson 5 classics. They saying, want to be starting something, Off the Wall, Human Nature, This Place Hotel, She's Out of My Life, I Want You Back, The Love You Share, I'll Be There, Rock With You, Lovely One, Working Day and Night. He had an encore with Beat It and Billie Jean, but he wasn't done. They made him come back up and do Shake Your Body Down to the Ground. Yeah. Michael Jackson. Let's see.
That would have been a great show.
Oh, absolutely.
Wish
absolutely.
Did Smooth Criminal.
It wasn't out yet.
Oh.
Yes, that was 87.
Sorry.
That's okay. Because I can't be like
I just want to say, like,
if
they did the Lean in 1984, bro. Yo, stop. Hands down. That's the best moment in Buffalo Bills Stadium history. They did the Lean in 1984 for the first time, bro. That's it. Hands down. It's over.
Like, how'd he do that?
That's just shut it down at that point.
For hockey fans, The first ever Winter Classic was held at Rich Stadium.
It was, yeah.
January 1st, 2008. Buffalo Sabres versus the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I remember watching that game.
Oh, yeah. I remember them being afraid that the ice is going to melt. Like, what do we do?
Ain't that rink still the one in East Aurora? They moved it over to East Aurora, didn't they?
Oh, really?
That's that one that's out in East Aurora now.
Okay. All right, yeah. I'm trying to think of what rink is over there. The only one I know is the one that they put at Highmark in downtown in Fountain Plaza. But, yeah, so why it matters. The Winter Classic became an NHL signature outdoor event, distinct Heritage Classic and Stadium Series. It's now one of the league's biggest annual spectacles. We were first. What else do we have? Unique features to the Rich Stadium. Like I said, 80,020 seats in the original capacity. It was purpose built just for football. No baseball, like the rock pile, like War Memorial Stadium. No multi-use. It was just for football. It wasn't built in a bowl. It wasn't built with moving seats. It was what it was. It has a naturally loud bowl, acoustics. Stadium bowl was shaped to trap sound and push it towards the field. This design helped to create the Bills' reputation for having one of the largest home crowds in the NFL. The effect became part of the stadium identity through the 80s and 90s. Open air, weather exposed design, my favorite. Rich Stadium was built fully open air with no roof, no dome, no canopy. A rarity cold weather NFL cities of the 80s or 70s. Buffalo embraced the elements instead of avoiding them. Built rapidly to prevent relocation. Ralph Wilson, you stinker, you're trying to get rid of the Bills. I heard he was actually trying to move into Memphis, Seattle, or Tampa. Obviously, it fell through. He didn't like the way that the rock pile was going. It wasn't built in a fashion that could push him to the growing NFL capacity for seating and the new amenities that were being offered. So Buffalo hastily built the stadium in 14 months.
Wow.
Let's see. Early adoption of artificial turf. AstroTurf, 73 through 2000. This made it one of the early NFL stadiums to commit to synthetic surfaces. It later transitioned to AstroTurf and A-Turf Titan. Single tunnel entrance, a rare NFL feature. The stadium featured one shared tunnel in the middle of the east end zone, a design that lasted for decades and became iconic. Most NFL stadiums have separate tunnels. Rich Stadium kept one. It was memorable because of tension, chaos, and atmosphere. Let's ask Spencer Brown and
exactly Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter, yeah. And then let's ask Shaq Lawson and Leonard Fournette how that went.
Yep.
NFL Stadium was named after a food company. I don't know if you guys know. Rich Products purchasing the name rights, making Rich Stadium one of the earliest examples of corporate naming in the NFL. It was ahead of its time in naming rights era that would explode decades later. Lastly, for uniqueness, the suburban isolation, Buffalo built in Orchard Park rather than downtown Buffalo. The stadium sat on a 130-acre site surrounded by parking and open land. This created the legendary tailgating culture. The stadium felt like its own world on game day. People said it was its own living, breathing entity. So around town, if you're a Bills fan, if you go back in history with regards to Rich Stadium, and even as far back as the rock pile, I love listening to my mom talk about, living in the area where it was on Jefferson and Best and watching it, the area fill up. As you all know, it wasn't the best area of Buffalo, but nonetheless, Buffalo's finest did come out and enjoy some football watching O.J. Simpson, and I believe the great Ahmad Rashad played at the Rock at Highmark as well.
Really?
Yeah, he was Bobby Taylor. I gotta look it up. Bobby Smith, I think. Before he changed his name, he was a wide receiver. He came from Minnesota. So he was in Buffalo just for a moment. But yeah, so there's a lot of there. I wanted to kind of talk about memories, of the stadium. Dan, you weren't around when we talked about memories. So if you have any of going, what you remember the most about experiencing the Ralph Rich Highmark amenities and what it had to offer, please share.
Yeah, I do have one. But before that, I just wanted to bring up, along with your list, there's one more thing that we should add to that. And that was the cool advertising that they had back when the NFL didn't regulate that stuff. The big Marlboro signs in the stadium and stuff like that. Yep.
I remember. With the cowboy on there and everything.
Yeah.
You're right. I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
I never knew it existed.
That's pretty.
Yeah,
unique.
I remember.
You look at really old footage of the stadium, and there's big Marlboro signs.
Yeah, if you watch old games, you'll see it too. I forgot about that.
I didn't. Again, to be clear, I didn't become a fan of the team until 2000 and whatever the year the Music City Miracle was.
Okay. Music City Miracle, that was what, 98, 99? Yeah. So yeah, that yeah, you came at the wrong time.
I know.
You came at the wrong time.
I know.
Yes, you did.
Cato said that was 99. Yeah, so that's when I became a Bills fan, is right at the start of the drought, basically.
Well, I mean, what was it about them that made you gravitate to the Bills? Because they were our team, or yeah. I mean, I really wasn't like I knew that the Bills were in the Super Bowl. Like my mom, my aunts, they had the sweatshirts and stuff like that, and I used to see the Bills helmet versus the Cowboys helmet, and you know what I mean. Like they didn't really, my mom didn't raise me on sports. You know, I was watching Star Trek and a bunch of TV shows and movies and stuff like that back then, right? Mm-hmm. So looking at that Bills game, I think I really got wrapped up in the drama over the forward pass. Mm-hmm. And I think seeing my team get cheated for the first time is what really set me off. You know what I mean? Because like, again, before that, I didn't watch any Super Bowls. I didn't even know when the Super Bowls were. And I think my mom might have had people over, for a game like one time, and I was in the room playing. Like I just didn't care. Right.
So to see this stuff happen to, my team, the team that represented my city, I should say, right? For me, it was all about representation of the city. Cause at that point, like I was, like this, my city is where I'm coming out. So I'm a rep Buffalo. When I make it big in music, I'm a rep Buffalo. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna do this and that and that. So I see the Bills get cheated like that at the end of the game. I'm like, no, hell no. Oh, hell no. These motherfuckers. I started going off, man. Like y'all not finna do that to my boys, man. And then I'm thinking it's about to be another game. I didn't even know it was a playoff game when this happened either. So I'm like, why they ain't playing no more? Oh, right. That was a playoff game? Oh, they got eliminated off of that?
Right, you like,
oh no, son. Like I was ready to fight after that. Then it was on. Then it was, we gotta beat these boys, man. We gotta right. Whoop these boys. You know what I'm saying? Then like I started keeping like not like I still wasn't like watching every game,
right?
But when like I would tune and I flip channels and I try to see if they was on, I watch them because I didn't know how to look up the schedules or anything back then. You had to have like a TV Guide magazine or something like that to know when all the games was.
We had that. Yeah. Oh, mom had those TV guides. Had to ask mom, where the TV guide at?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish my uncle. He used to save them. He had like a stack of them things. But when he passed, we threw them all out. I want to see Ken blow his mind. What do these numbers and figures mean? Even gives you a little summary what they expect.
Yeah. Yeah, Kato, it was Flutie. It was Flutie in that game. Actually,
no, that was Collins. Rob Johnson.
Yeah, Rob Johnson.
Yep,
yeah,
Rob Johnson.
I completely forgot. Wade was forced to start Rob Johnson.
Yep, and still got fired.
My
still got fired.
Roy says, I think Aramis thought Super Bowl just meant the bigger bowl for a cereal. I didn't even know what a Super Bowl was. They didn't talk about that in my house.
Yeah, Reader's Digest. Oh, man. TV. Yep, Reader's Digest is about it. I remember my granddad got my mom a subscription to those like every year. And like I pick them up like, what am I reading on reading? I don't know what this is all about, but I looked at it, tried to look smart. Reader's Digest? Yeah. It was boring. I didn't want to read the Reader's Digest, but my mom wasn't going to do it. So I said, let me pick this up and see what's in here. I said, I see why she's not looking at these. I see why.
Bro, what the heck is a whammy weenie?
I know. I don't remember what it looked like, but I've heard it. I've heard all about it.
What does it do?
It was like I think it was a mascot kind of deal. I think. And you can correct me. Who was that?
That's not the inflatable flailing arm.
No, wacky waving inflatable arm guy. No. Yeah, Chris. Am I right or wrong? Because I remember the name, the Whammy Weenie, but I just don't remember if it was a mascot or what it was. He said, "Look it up." Okay, I'm going to.
While you look that up, you want me to?
Yes, sir. Tell your story.
Yeah. So I don't have any like great like family memories or anything. I mean, my dad would take us to like the kids preseason game when I was a little kid or stuff like that. But I only have been to one real game at the Ralph before, and I was in high school, and youth leader in my youth group took me to a game, and boy, was it a game!
Really,
it was the game where Rex Ryan was coaching the Jets, and they come into town, and Geno Smith loses his job. It was like 40-something to 3, I think. I mean, it was just smacking of Geno Smith and that team, and it was a party the whole game.
Hey, Rex Ryan. So that would have been who? Ryan Fitzpatrick. We beat him with
Tyrod.
Nah, Tyrod. Maybe.
Rex Ryan brought Tyrod
think,
in.
No, not Rex Ryan on the Bills. Rex Ryan Jets.
Oh,
yeah, that's why I'm thinking Fitz. It had to be Fitz.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be Fitzy. Especially whooping on him like that. You know, Fitzy was slinging that thing, man. You gonna put points up on that defense.
My boy Fitzy.
Yeah, it had to be Fitzy, man. It had to be. Or
I'll try and find info on the game.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't. Okay, so I obviously I wasn't alive for the whammy weenie, but you saw the hat said "Shake your whammy weenie." It looked like almost like a. I don't even know how to even describe this. It was a green, like an adult toy for females, but it's green. That's all I say. Yeah, the whammy weenie look. Okay, it was EJ manual according to Justo Alvarez. Yeah, I know it's a noisemaker, but I'm looking at it and I don't know how to really describe.
Bro, that ain't no noisemaker, bro.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know how to describe it, but I'm trying to be as PC as possible.
It looks like
something else. Yes, it looks like something that people threw at Tom Brady.
Like a plastic cucumber.
Yes, there you go. Okay, that's even better.
It looks
even
like
better.
A plastic cucumber that with the curve and everything. It's like a plastic. That's crazy.
It was from
and
Bills,
they want
so, yeah.
return of the whammy weenie. Like so much about Bill's history comes from this place of obscure like sexual innuendo. You know what I'm saying? Like the whammy weenie. Like how could we not be seeing the similarities back then?
Right.
That we're seeing now. You know what I mean? Like that had to be some sort of inside joke. I'm so tired of so much stuff in this city that ends up being a part of like tradition and history coming from this ridiculous place of obscurity and hilarity. Like I'm almost mad now that I know about this.
I heard about it. I just didn't know what it was. I thought it was like a mascot or something, but no, that's just
like this should be an emoji on a cell phone.
Probably is.
That you text to your significant other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this was the eggplant before the eggplant.
Yes,
instead of texting your girl, you just put this on the countertop, and when she came home, she knew what time it was. Like right. You see, did you go in the kitchen? Okay.
Like yeah, I made a salad. Oh no. All right, that's enough for keep being nasty. But yeah, no. So you know, I was thinking about this when I thought about this stadium. You know, for me, I got a little emotional. I didn't actually cry about it, but I thought about you know, that being all we've known in our 41 years of being on this earth. All we know is that stadium, you know, for whether or not you knew, you know, driving past the Bills were there or whatever the case may be. But I think about, you know, when I was a child driving past the rock pile, when it was just this stone nothing. I didn't know what was in there. But my mom always said the Bills played in there when you know, back, you know, 15 years ago at this time. But now it's going to be another instance where I did get to take my son there. I have a lot of memories when it comes to the stadium. You know, I always talk about the game me and my uncle went to against the Houston Oilers, where Russell Copeland, my people would think he's my favorite all-time wide receiver, which for some reason at that time he was. Even though he was terrible, he had 5 targets in the game and no receptions. But that was, for me, Russell Copeland. I was 10 years old, just loving life. 11 years old, loving life. And I remember it being Christmas Eve. And I know, built into that, I was excited because not only was my uncle taking me to the game, but I knew my uncle comes over on Christmas Eve to play the game with me. So there was a lot of things to unpack in that day in memory lore. I remember going to the Bills game with my dad. I remember going to see him play the Bears, where we didn't stay the whole game, but I remember Ted Washington coming back to Buffalo, and he didn't play, but he was a local legend. And for whatever reason, he was on a cart, and they drove him off around the side, and people were throwing water at him, like they were throwing cups of water at this dude. Like he was pissed. He was pointing them out, who to kick out, 7:30, he took him out. But I remember stories of my dad telling me September 7th, 1980. If I asked him what the date was, he wouldn't know because he doesn't remember these kind of things anymore. But that was the day the Bills broke the streak against Miami. They lost the whole decade of the 70s. People around, if you know, IYKYK, as young people would say. But he told me, I remember me and my best friend went to this game, and they tore the goalpost down. We stormed the field. We tore the goalpost down. We tore the goalpost down. It was 4 years before my time. But knowing my dad, how I know my dad, I can't see him anywhere near anything reckless. Right. It is what it is. But, it broke a 20-game losing streak against the Dolphins. It was squish to fish. That's where it was born from. Ralph Wilson even joked, he said, I'd be happy to buy some more. I don't care. Tear them down. Do your thing. I remember there being a sign. I think it was John and Mary's John and Mary's John's Pizza and Subs. Somebody had a picture where there's like three guys standing on the goalpost while it's still up. And they're like, trying to break it down, but they're standing. The field is swarming with people, and all the like. I remember the snow game, January 3rd, 2009, where Terrell Owens was a Bill, and I remember seeing Peyton Manning throwing to Dallas Clark for whatever record. I think it was reception yards or something, get 1,000 yards receiving, whatever it was. I remember it being just snowy. I had like 9 layers of clothes on. I don't get cold easily, but this is a game where me and my guy at the time, well, he's still my guy, get well, where we lived on the same street, and we looked outside. He said, "Key, you want to try it?" I said, "If we can get off this street, we can get to the game." He's like, "All right." So I remember driving down to his house, and I almost didn't stop because I knew I had a Grand Prix. If I stopped, it was over. It was over with. So I said, "I'm going to keep rolling. Just hop in," and he did. We got off the street, and once we got to the next major street, it was smoother. Travel. It wasn't great, but it was smoother. So we got to the game, and remember these guys over here, they were losing their minds, dancing, said, "Hey, song," and I don't think they're trying to keep cold or keep warm or what, but I mean, it was just them asking us to dance with them in second, third. I remember the Dark Day, the worst game ever. Well, probably not, but for me it was, because I had to justify to my friend who was a Bills hater at the time. Now she moved. Now she talks about the Bills and her kids all have Bills stuff, but back then she wasn't as forgiving. I took her to the 6-3 Browns to Bills game. The most boring game as all time. I mean, Derek Anderson completed 2 passes, and they won because Roscoe Parrish muffed the punt. And they kicked the field goal to win the game. I was there. It was the longest game ever. She kept looking at me like,
that was the 6-3 game, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
She was like, "Your team sucks." I'm like, "No, they don't. You're not going home. I drove you. You better watch your mouth." But in that game we got to see, we got to see. Let's see, Derek Anderson had a complete quarterback rating of 15. He had a long of 16 yards. He completed for 23 yards on the day, 1 interception, 1 sack. Trent Edwards, people's favorite, 16 of 31, 152, 1 interception, 2 sacks. And let's see some defensive players that we had: Jarris Byrd, Kyle Williams, Keith Ellison, Marcus Stroud, George Wilson, Aaron Schobel, Drayton Florence, Chris Kelsey, Kavika Mitchell, Ashley Palmer, Marcus Buggs, and the list goes on and on. These are guys that we used to have on our team. Yeah, Chris said the Winter Classic game is about to start. That's ironic, isn't it? That's very ironic. The Winter Classic is about to start today, and we're just talking about it. But yeah, I mean, if you go further into this, where you look at players that like you laid out, and you didn't know you were laying out. You're making a point that I was going to bring up as well. What was the point? Okay, who's playing on Sunday? you know, who do you play? Do you want to play? Because, you know, players that know and players that really appreciate the history of that game and of that stadium, you know, what if Dawson Knox goes for 10 catches for 170 and 3 touchdowns? What if Max Harrison records 2 interceptions? What if you know, what did you say? Trubisky goes for 400 or 500 yards or whatever you said.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? That's going to go down in the annals of time because you can't talk about Highmark Ralph Rich Stadium without talking about the performance that was had. Greg Rousseau getting 3 or 4 sacks in this game, whatever the case may be. I was there. Grandma telling her granddaughters in 10 years, whatever the case may be, dads telling their sons and nephews. People, I was there. I remember that. Now is our chance to say, I remember that stadium. You guys didn't see it, but I'm telling you, it was rocking. It was loud. It was this. It was that. And the thing about what we have that our parents and grandparents didn't have is we don't have the videos proof, or they didn't have the video proof that we have now by YouTube. They didn't have VCRs. They didn't have, you know, all the channels. They didn't get to see the blacked out comeback game because it was blacked out. They didn't get to see the best game the Bills ever played, and you know, because everybody wasn't there. One of the biggest travesties of all time. You can go on YouTube now and see it, but you have to wait. What is that? 30 years, 36 years in order to see the game. But I watched it on YouTube now. I watched it, but you know, you couldn't watch it then. And that's the thing. I think I read that Knox needs a tutty to hit an incentive, maybe. In which case they'll try to get it to him. You know, but that's the thing, you know, and these games are huge. Like I said, this is the house that OJ built. What if somebody says this is the last call? Max Harrison's last call. James Cook's one last ride. I don't know, something snazzy, anything.
Yeah.
Because if James Cook gets the rushing title in the stadium before it closes, the last time I ever get to see people walk off that field, the last time I see people walk on the field and the doors close forever, that's it. I'm telling you, let that be. And this is where my mind goes when people talk about, you know, nostalgia and Bill's history set and third. But I think about the memories. I'm the kind of guy that's still pissed about the Sabre Stadium because I love the odd. You know, so I remember when my mom was like, "It's gone, let it go." I'm like, "No, the ice skate rink, I hate it because it's where the odd used to be." I have so many memories of how it smelled, how it looked. Dan, I don't know. Did you get to go to the odd?
I did not.
Okay.
I've actually never been to a Sabres game until this year. My brother took me.
Okay.
Yeah, this year was my first Sabres game too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did. I really enjoyed it.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Wait, no, I'm sorry. My last year.
Yeah,
it was last year.
Yeah, I remember you went. Yeah. That's you know, and but I remember the ramps because they had stairs, but it was mostly ramps around outside. It just kept going and going and going and you know, I remember it was like a warehouse. You're like, where the hell am I going?
By far the steepest seats I've ever experienced in my life. The oranges.
Oh,
I watched. I school trips, so you know they was taking you to see the Blizzard.
Oh, I remember. See the Blizzards game. Yep.
I don't know how many Blizzards game I've been to, but bro, when I tell you, I was fearing for my life. Like those are the type of seats you was so far up and so steep that it felt like if you was to just lean forward far enough, you fall in like 40 stories
forever.
Like
you're coming back for that. Yeah,
it was unbelievable how steep those seats were. Don't fight me for saying this, but I was glad I didn't have another place to go watch, you know, hockey or whatever else and stay in seats that steep. Like that was incredibly bad.
It was scary. It was scary. That's for sure. You know, and the funny thing was some of the seats didn't have cushions, but blue seats didn't have cushions. The orange,
oranges didn't have no cushions.
I think they were without cushion. Red and gold. Yeah. Red and gold had cushions. The other ones, no. Yeah. But yeah,
that's what luxury was back in the day.
Right.
Yeah, something soft for your butt.
You sit on the wood. Me and mom always sat on the wood. Them blues, we always
right.
You know, but going back to the Highmark, you know, that's what you remember. You remember the trough bathroom. You remember the congested hallways. You remember it's like these are the things that make us. You know, all the amenities that we had. Go ahead.
It just occurred to me, my when you said trough bathrooms, like, bro, like you wasn't even supposed to pee in those. You're supposed to wash your hands and walk away. And people was peeing in like that's not how it works. There's urinals all around the place, and y'all peeing in the. Where I'm gonna wash my hands at? Like, dude, I didn't find that out until probably the year of the game I'm about to talk about. Like that was probably my first. So this was back in what year was this? Hold on, let me see. What year was this game? 2013. 2013 was the first year I went and used the bathroom in the stadium. And I think at this time that was like my second game ever I had ever been to.
Mm-hmm.
And I go in there, and they got that big circle thing in the middle of the men's bathroom there that you're supposed to wash your hands at. Yep. And this dude's just like, it's a whole like huge line. It's a night game, so they all in there just peeing all around us. I'm like, your dong is just all out like that, like. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Like, no. Nah, I need you. Where the door's at?
I'm gonna wait. I'll wait. Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go in a stall. I'm gonna wait. One of these dudes gonna come out. Until then, I'm facing the wall. I ain't looking at nobody. I don't want to see nothing. I don't want nothing.
I found the game I went to. It was also in 2013, coincidentally.
You say yours was a Rams game, right?
No, Jets.
Jets game. Okay, that's right. Jets.
It's even funnier now. Looking at the box score on this game, Geno Smith had 3 interceptions, 1 for a pick 6, and 2 fumbles. It was awful. And that was when we had EJ Manuel, and he had a monster game.
That's right.
It was all deep passes.
That is actually the quarterback of the Bills for the game that I remember the most, which is very surprising because I think he was by far one of the worst draft picks the Bills have ever had. No offense to Key, because I know that was your boy. But September 15th, 2013 was my second ever game. It was a night game against the Carolina Panthers. And EJ Manuel led the comeback to win 24-23. He throws to Stevie Johnson in the back of the end zone with 2 seconds left, fresh off of a pass interference penalty by Luke Kuechly. I'm watching this game unfold in front of me. Like, is this about to be the emergence of EJ Manuel? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I watched him the whole game, and I kind of knew at that point, like, he's all right. The Bills look all right with him as the quarterback. He's not great,
right?
But maybe he's developing. Maybe this is the start of something big. Am I witnessing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you start to have these feelings like, am I witnessing history? You know what I'm saying? But that was probably the most memorable moment for me. Like, night game. The next one after that is not a great memory, and that's the Bills Cowboys game.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, the Bills got like 5 turnovers off the Cowboys in that game and still lost. Because they were playing prevent defense the whole way down the field. I remember watching that. I was just like, I couldn't believe it.
I remember that. I was at work, and I was like, I'm not worried about it because I thought we were going to get destroyed.
Okay.
So I'll watch it when I get home.
George Wilson was playing safety. Yeah. Got a couple of interceptions out of there.
And I remember my Cowboys friend was like, yo, y'all might do it. Like, what? And my shift was about to be over. So I got to my car. I burned it, homie. I took off. EJ was from Florida State.
Yes.
That's right. What college was you from? Yeah.
The college you hate the most.
That's right. That's right. Anything offensive is offensive.
That's pretty good. My wife is in here. She said the steepest seats I've ever sat in until I went to the Sphere. What were the Sphere seats? I don't think that they were as steep as the Odd seats.
The Odd was crazy.
Yeah,
the thing was those those orange seats were add-ons. When they built the stadium in 38,
because it felt like they were just pinned like screwed into the wall.
Yep. Yeah, the orange wasn't there when they first built it in 38. The orange wasn't there. Then I think like 42 or something like that. They raised the roof and just added these seats. And
wow.
Yeah, so those weren't there.
That makes perfect sense because it like once you got to that level, it felt like there was no more like slant to the ground or anything. It just literally went. You're like this, and then you just start to go straight up after.
You had to put on a repelling harness.
Yeah, just to get to your seat. You know,
to the helmet. Just
maybe a gas tank. Some oxygen.
Wait, I gotta go to the bathroom. Yeah. The air is thin. Start to lose consciousness.
Just to get to your seat. You got a guy walking through the aisles. Get your oxygen here.
It's Conehead.
Oh my gosh. Yo, can you give me an oxygen tank, bro? I can't take it up here. I gotta use it.
Like, hold on, he got cotton candy. He got Coke. Oxygen's over there. Can you make it?
Right. I only got enough money for one. Do I get soda or oxygen? I gotta choose. How about this? You buy a soda, I'll buy an oxygen. We'll share.
How we gonna divvy this up? How long can you hold your breath for?
You're right. That all was something else. I mean, yeah, the seats in the yard did feel kind of steep. They did. I'm not gonna lie. Mm-hmm. I literally watched a drunk dude like just stand there for a second and then fall forward. I don't know if the room started spinning on him or whatever, but
he probably had vertigo.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so those are my games. But so you pulled the same thing that happened to you trying to hurry up and get home to watch that game was the same thing that happened to me the first time we beat the Patriots here.
All right. Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. I remember I was actually loading a plane when that happened, and T called me.
Yeah.
And I was in the pit of the plane, and I don't know how my phone worked, but she called me screaming, "We want to win!" And then she started crying. Like, T don't watch football.
Yeah.
So, I was like, oh man, I had to stop. I was like, yo, stop the belt. I gotta collect myself. I gotta get my feelings. I gotta get my WGR on my phone while I'm doing this because I gotta hear. And yeah, I mean, like you said, that moment there, the fit scream and things like that. I mean, you were talking about was it Tasker and Thurman Thomas are doing the Legends game of the game or whatever. And Tasker said, I don't think I'm gonna get through it. He said, we're gonna figure this out because I might start crying. He said, I can't do it. Yeah, I'm starting to get emotional now. Dan Marino said, yeah, that's the end of an era because him and Jim Kelly are best friends. He spent a lot of time in Buffalo, especially when they weren't playing. And Jim Kelly, I mean, it really is the face that these guys built, OJ, Bruce Smith, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, Eric Moulds, Josh Allen, James Cook, looky, here comes Cookie, the Binions. I mean, I can go forever and ever, and you can see I can go for a while with these people's names, and
sure.
and it just means a lot to know that our history, our lineage, our culture is not just this McDermott thing. It's a Buffalo thing, and a Buffalo thing is Jim Braxton, who worked in the factory when he wasn't on the field, and other players like that. Not because that's what everybody did, but that's what Buffalo was. You know, the game, you go to Bethlehem Steel. How crazy is that? But I mean, I'm thinking about those steep climbs up to where my seasons were, the steep climbs down to where Mel's seasons are. Thinking about you go in the wrong entrance, you go in the 6 where your seats is over by 3. You got to walk for years to get around to your spot. Yep. I'm thinking about even being in aviation, having a long business trip somewhere, I had to fly back home at night, and we fly over to something like, there it is. Because it's so open, all you see is say Buffalo, and you see the field lines, you're like, ain't no mistaking it. That's where my boys play. They play right there.
Yeah.
And it's a sense of pride. It's a sense of pride. So I'm gonna miss it. And I know a lot of people that have a lot of history with regards to the stadium will miss it as well. We'll try to embrace the new stadium. I know a lot of people are just happy about the amenities and stuff like that. I'm going to embrace it because I have to, but I'm never going to forget the things that went on in the old stadium.
Yeah.
Did you watch the series that I think it's Channel 7 put out with Matt Bove?
I heard about it. I didn't watch it yet though.
It's good.
I'll believe it. Yeah. I actually enjoy Matt Bove and Sal Capaccio's show. But I do want to see that as well.
Yeah. Laura says, such great memories for decades. Crazy red helmets to cap it off. We got to win. So last question, and then we got to get out of here. Mm-hmm. Do you guys think the red helmets stay after this game? And I don't mean like this year through the playoffs. I know they're going to go back to the white, but I mean like, year like 2026. I mean, that has to be such a boss move to start the new stadium off with the red helmets and all the nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? They look great with the jerseys. You know what I mean? Like, you think that happens?
It's funny because normally I would say no because the red helmets are synonymous with the old stadium. Mm. But truth be told, the old stadium came in with white helmets. So either way you go, unless you give me the blue helmets, are going to be done already.
These blue helmets.
It's never been done.
I need to see. I need to see a design.
I have a feeling that they're going to completely redesign the uniforms
soon. Yeah. New stadium.
Yeah, and I have a feeling the red helmets will be an alternate.
Good.
When you say alternate, you mean like
1 or 2 times a year
season?
they'll wear it.
Okay. I could see that. You know, it is quite possible the Bills go with like a matte electric blue helmet with like a metallic red buffalo on the side or something like that, and just go straight blue and red. You know what I mean? Like not a lot of white in there. Just go straight blue and red, and it's going to be interesting. I agree with you guys that I do think there's going to be a jersey overhaul, a uniform overhaul. The question is time for a blue helmet. The question becomes how many of us are in the right age range to affect the voting?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if it's still the way it was when we got to the jerseys that we have now, there's going to be a lot of tradition that gets poured into that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry. I'm okay with nostalgia and tradition. I don't need that for the rest of my entire life.
Yeah.
I can move into the future.
I'd like to see it switch around a little bit, but one thing I do want to see switch though, definitely want to see switch. And I'm going to speak it to an existence. The official drink of the new stadium.
Yes.
Will be that Reed's tea.
It's coming.
You won't be able to get anything else.
No.
All those $15 Budweiser stuff. Never mind that. Truly's, don't worry about that. You're going to get Reed's tea and you're going to like it.
That's it.
Because you're going to now be able to stay awake for the whole game and not have to worry about. Why? Because it's refreshing, keep you awake, delicious. You're going to want more, and it's healthy. You won't be falling asleep in a drunken stupor. That's what you can expect when you're watching the game in a new stadium with 4 ingredients. But what do I know? I don't drink tea, but I will when we go to the new stadium. It's a must. I'll be thirsty. But what you doing? Get over to Reed's right before the stadium opens and get yourself a sample. But don't get an individual. Don't cheat yourself. Get yourself a case. What do I know? Trust me. Get yourself the case. You won't be disappointed. But what do I know? See for yourself. Reed's tea. Click the link in the description below. Let them know PPP sent you.
All right, here we go. We BGG. And you can hear exactly what I'm saying, and I'm coming through clear. So here's what I need everybody to do. I need you to mark down on your calendars January 8th. Big deal for the Post Podium Podcast channel. Just in general. Huge. We got an appearance January 8th on Coach D's Corner. I'm going to be doing that show here from the studio. We got Arthur Moats coming on the show. Okay, he's going to do that show with myself and Coach D. We're going to do some film review. We're going to talk ball, and we just going to have a good time chopping it up. So make sure that you are here for that. The only way that you can actually really ensure that you're here for that is if you hit that bell, make that thing so that you can get these types of notifications when we send these types of notifications. Other than that, only thing we need from you is a sign of whether or not you like what you heard, right? The way to do that is give us a thumbs up. All right. Your thumbs are so important when it comes to us being able to grow the channel and get to where we're trying to get, because that lets the algorithm know that we need to be out there a lot more. So with that being said, thank you to every single person who stayed with us today, every person that checked in on us while we were live, and everybody that continues to tune in, week out, episode in, episode out. We could not be doing this without you, and we are very appreciative of you. Happy New Year to all of you that stuck with us all this year and all the years that we've been doing this and all the years to come. All right. Anything else before we get out of here, fellas?
Yes, unfortunately, I won't be able to do a show on Monday. Got to work on Monday. And I got a text from my mom. It's Bobby Moore from Ahmad Rashad. Bobby Moore. That was his name before he changed over to Ahmad Rashad.
Okay.
I got something too.
Go ahead.
What's up?
An idea for you guys watching. Leave a comment if you would be interested in us having a tailgate at the new stadium when it opens up next year.
Woo-hoo!
Let us know what you think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's a big deal. All right, I'm with it. All right, so we got to get going. This has been the Post Podium Podcast, home of the All Truth, No Sodium takes. For Schmitty on the ones and twos, I am your co-host, Aramis.
For the keys, I'll see y'all later.
All right, y'all have a great night. Peace.